The intergalactic war had stretched across decades, leaving the once proud Xerthan Empire with little more than dust and broken ships. They had conquered hundreds of worlds, wiped out species in their wake, and established their dominance over the galaxy. But there was one thing they had never anticipated: humans. The Xerthan Council sat in their grand war room, overlooking a massive holographic display of the galaxy. Victory had been so close they could taste it. The final phase of their conquest was underway, a full-scale assault on Earth's remaining colonies. The council members exchanged sly glances, confident that their forces would crush humanity's resistance. After all, they had wiped out all of Earth's primary defenses years ago. What were a few primitive outposts and ships compared to the might of their advanced fleet? They hadn't accounted for a human trait they had yet to understand: resolve. On the distant reaches of the galaxy, Captain Noah Carter stared out from the command bridge of the Sovereign, humanity's most advanced warship. After years of rebuilding, of salvaging what was left, Earth had crafted a weapon capable of challenging the greatest forces in the galaxy. The Sovereign was more than just a ship. It was a symbol of survival, of humanity's indomitable will. Carter had seen it all: the destruction of Earth, the enslavement of colonies, the desperation of humanity fighting against impossible odds. But now the tables were about to turn. With a sharp tone, Carter issued the order: all hands brace for impact, engage FTL, and set course for Xerthan space. Prepare the weapons. The Sovereign powered up its engines, and its hull hummed with energy. The ship's sleek black exterior gleamed under the starlight, a sharp contrast to the typically chaotic and violent ships of the Xerthan. It was an engineering marvel, human ingenuity at its finest. In an instant, the Sovereign disappeared into the vastness of space, warping across light years at unimaginable speed. The Xerthan Empire's fleet had positioned itself at the outer edges of Earth's galaxy. Their ships filled the starry expanse like a vast array of predatory beasts, poised and ready to strike. But something felt wrong. The first sign came when their sensors detected a new blip in space. The object was massive, larger than any ship the Xerthan had encountered, and it was closing in rapidly. The blip was marked as human. How? The Xerthan had eradicated every last vestige of human military power, or so they thought. The Council's grand war room fell silent as they watched the blip grow larger on their screens. The Xerthan commander, V-Corps, squinted in disbelief. "What is that thing?" he muttered. It was then that the Sovereign entered their sensor range. "Impossible," the Admiral hissed, staring at the display with disbelief. The ship that appeared before them was nothing like the primitive human crafts they had seen before. The Sovereign was enormous, brimming with energy. Its massive cannons glowed an eerie blue as they charged, dwarfing the size of any ship the Xerthan had ever witnessed. The entire war room trembled slightly as the ship powered up. "Get our fleet into position. Prepare for attack," V-Corps barked. But even as the order left his lips, doubt began to creep into his mind. There was no way that a human ship alone could be this advanced. No way it could possibly pose a threat to their mighty fleet. Captain Carter's voice rang through the ship's comm system. "Target locked. Firing in 3, 2, 1. A massive beam of energy shot from the Sovereign's main cannon, slicing through the vacuum of space like a hot knife through butter. The beam connected with the nearest Xerthan destroyer, disintegrating its shields in a single shot. The Xerthan vessel erupted in a shower of sparks and fire, its hull disintegrating into nothingness as the devastating energy continued its deadly path. The Xerthan fleet had no time to react. "Fire all weapons," Carter ordered. His calm voice echoed through the ship as the crew initiated an onslaught of missiles, lasers, and plasma torpedoes. The Sovereign's systems were calibrated to counteract even the most advanced defense systems, and the human ship's weapons tore through the Xerthan fleet with terrifying efficiency. The Xerthan warships tried to retaliate, but their weapons seemed ineffective against the human warship's energy shields. One by one, their ships were destroyed, the explosions lighting up the galaxy as they fell before the might of humanity's final weapon. The Council, observing from their distant command center, could hardly comprehend what was happening. "The Corps report," the Supreme Leader ordered. The Corps stood frozen in his chair, staring at the destruction unfolding before him. His face was pale. Fleet is being annihilated. Our shields are ineffective. Their firepower exceeds anything we've encountered. The Supreme Leader's voice trembled with fury and disbelief. How? How is this possible? Back on the Sovereign, Captain Carter looked out at the stars as the battle raged on. There was a fire in his chest, a fire that had burned since the day humanity had been cast aside, underestimated by the galaxy. Now, humanity was showing them what it meant to fight for survival. As the last Xerthan ship fell from the sky, Carter breathed a sigh of relief. The Sovereign had done its job. The galaxy would never again underestimate humanity. The war was over and humanity had emerged victorious, leaving the Xerthan Empire in ruins. The Xerthan Council, once filled with pride and arrogance, now stared in stunned silence as the Sovereign turned and disappeared into the distance. They were left with only one thought: never again would they doubt the humans. And so, the galaxy learned a harsh truth: humans were not to be underestimated. This was the moment when the Xerthan Empire realized the true strength of humanity: unyielding, resilient, and unstoppable.